shipbuilders, which probably should be model boat builders. I finished the ship. Yeah, I just did a quick vlog yesterday and just an update of what I've done so far on the new hovercraft. So yesterday I just showed you the front section of the craft, and of course keeping in mind I've just posted some photos. This is what we're looking at, the New Zealand hovercraft. It's the rescue unit. This photo is from 2015, I've already told you that yesterday, whoever was watching. So what we've got so far, working on it last night, front section cabin, everything I said is balsa wood, so it's nice and light. Because by the time you put all your working gear, of course, you're going to have a fair bit of weight, so you've got to distribute your weight system. So what I've done, the cabin part, this is the door section, and I've shaped it down as such, and I'll just put some safety gear in here, like a couple of life rafts or something like that, or life reels, but just to finish that off. So that's just about all ready to start to fill the little cracks in and get it painted. I'll worry about putting the top on last, obviously, because I want to get into the gear, and this is where the main thrust area will be, in here, with a fan going down onto the skirt, onto the bottom of the boat. So I want to make sure that I've got plenty of room, but that's where it's going to go. It'll be up at the bow. If I have any problems, I can always put one underneath here, but the main working section will be under this here. The length of the craft, this actually goes right up onto the bow, and this section here will probably only go about this far. So it's going to be quite a large hovercraft to what we've seen. So I've done that. That's, like I said, it's all ready. Had a few problems mounting the motor. So what I've done is I've made something up partly solid timber. It's because, of course, the motor I showed you yesterday, it's a very powerful motor, and of course I've got to work out yet how I'm going to secure the base. I'm pretty sure I'm going to put a solid base on here, which will be timber, so it actually secures into the craft itself. And keeping in mind, I'm working with polyurethane, so or polystyrene I should say. It's with the polystyrene, it's going to be very hard to stick down. The other models I've seen people do, and they use a glue gun. I don't use a glue gun. I've got one here, and I find, and I've showed you once before, you can get your hands on it at the moment because all the shops are closed back basically down here. All my models are super glue. It's a waterproof super glue, and that's it there. It's a quick fix. It dries in seconds, so you've got to be very careful. I've lost a fair bit of skin off the fingers. You can't wear gloves, of course, it's too awkward, but that's a quick fix glue. I go through a lot of that. I usually buy about 8 at a time. It's not very cheap, but it's better than your normal super glue. It's quicker, and it really sticks well. So I've kept that on all my models except for the hull, where I've used a waterproof compound. I've got other glue here. I've got other 2-3 different types of glue that I use, but generally anything like this on the balsa wood, I always use that, the super glue. I like the heat glue, but of course it gets very stringy, and then you've got to clean it up, and it's quite messy. And of course you've got to, with the super glue, as you can see here, this has all been super glued and rounded off, so it's not a bad sort of join. And I tend to, everything I do, if I super glue 2 parts together on the inner side, I always run a line of super glue in all my joints. So you've got double-sided, you've got in between the balsa wood, and also on the outside and on the inside and the outside there. And you can see it joined just on the back where I've had to put a small piece. That's all super glue. You're using heat gun. One, you tend not to get the two joints closer together because it's a thicker compound. So that's my main reason why I use the super glue. I haven't had any problems with it, except you've got to be pretty quick. So you've got to be pretty deadly. So getting back to this is what I've made up yesterday, and the obviously hand carved the section out, and what we have is the motor that I showed you also, and it's a nice tight fit. There you go, very tight. I've got, you just line up two screws. Excuse me, I've had a lot of dust in here through sanding. Okay, so all we do is just screw the motor on as such. Once you get the holes lined up, of course. That's the hardest thing. Put it down on the bench. Twist it around until you can find the hole. You can see it. I didn't have any longer screws. I've got every type of screw possible here, but I didn't have long enough screws, so unfortunately I've had to countersink a little bit in the timber. There we go, that's got that one. I also said yesterday that I had the props. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to secure the prop, because I would love to screw it into the end of the motor shaft, but because it's so fine, it's just near impossible, and if you split that, you're gone. So again, I'll probably finish up putting the super glue connection onto there and heating the prop and then putting it on. So we'll just have to try it out. And as I said yesterday, thanks to a good mate of mine, we finished up getting this battery. Get it there. So there she is there, all ready to go, and you can see it's throwing it out of my hand. That's how powerful it is. You can see it there. But that's a heck of a lot of flux, and that's on the 20 volt. So I'm not using the 7.4 yet. But if I put the prop on there, you know, you can feel the pressure straight away. That's a heck of a lot of pressure on there, as you can see. So that's got to be secured down. You can see the thrust it's got. So it's certainly got to be secured well and truly onto the craft. So that's all ready to go. So there's not much more I can do. I'm just going to fill up a few of the little cracks here and there, and then sand it back down, and it's ready for its first coat. I've got an undercoat there, and like I said, I'll go to a yellow and turn it all to the yellow, and then I'll work on a few of the other things while I'm waiting for the polystyrene to turn up. I'll start doing the top of the cabin, and of course I've got to do the cowling. I'm thinking I'm going to, obviously it's just only plastic, you can see it's an old butter container. I'd like to secure it a little bit more, obviously, because of this powerful motor, and with a prop in there, it's going to be thrown around quite a bit, so it's got to be fairly solid. So what I'm thinking about doing, again with balsa wood, I've got some really flexible balsa wood there, or I've got some ply, stick on very fine stick on ply, and put it up onto the inside. So I'm thinking also that the deck's all yellow on this, so I was going to plank it, but being a rescue craft, it's not going to be planked anyway, so it's all painted one colour. So that's probably the easiest part. And then of course I've got to do the life rafts. This one's carrying 6, so I've got to do life rafts on that. So there's still plenty to do. I want to work out for the radar on the top and a few lights set up, and yeah, so still going to keep me busy for a while I'm waiting for the parts. Hopefully I've been told probably Wednesday, could be Wednesday. But I'm just making sure that everything is nice and level, so it's going to sit on the base of it. But this is the first time I've actually done this shape of window, because I've had it there before. When I did the MLE, that's all square. When I did the ship, I used round. Very tricky, a lot of work trying to cut them out with a knife first, and then very gently use the machine, my Zito, with the small sanding cone on the end, that one there. But of course, using balsa wood, it's you've got to be really careful. Otherwise, one slip, you're going right through it. You've wrecked the whole thing. So yeah, you certainly get your patience, test your patience at the same time. It's something I haven't had over the years, but I certainly have now. Starting on these model boats. Excuse me, I'll just put that back up there. So there we go. Just a short vlog, and thanks again. Subscribe, like, whatever you like, and always happy to see some comments coming in again. Always mention that, and all the best, stay safe, and God bless. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye bye.
Like a Hellcat.